Hello and welcome to Pravus Gaming and Runescape 3. The third world event has just been released recently, called Tuska Comes, and basically we have a giant freaky alien god thingy heading toward Yelenor and we need to kill it off. Somehow, but it'll probably take all month to do so. Anyway, so I thought I'd come up with a quick little video just giving a guide or an overview of what is involved for those of you who may not be familiar with it or had a little trouble understanding it at first, as I did. It all becomes made clear. So in order to get to the world event, you want to go to your home teleport option and you can zoom out and go to Tuska directly. Once there, you'll be approached by an astromancer who will give you a quick little rundown as to where you are and kind of give you a rough idea what you're doing. But the first thing you'll want to do after talking to him is meet with one of the representatives from the 4 factions that are on Tuska's back. You have Scopulus for the Godless, Bree for Saradomin, Moya for Zamorak, and Kamii for Armadil. Previous RuneScape world events have involved picking a god faction and then competing with other players in some way. This one is really no different, so you will choose one of those factions, and whichever faction got the most points over the day will be awarded the victory. Ultimately, though, over the course of this month, the point is to continue to beat up on Tuska every hour until she is finally defeated. However, Tuska can actually win if you don't do enough damage, as is the case of the first day of this event when not enough people were involved, and Tuska technically won the first day of the event. Hopefully that does not continue. The primary event takes place every hour, and the first 20 minutes are pretty much devoted to that event. If you happen to show up in the meantime, there are still a couple of things you can do. For example, you could balance on the spines in order to get some agility experience, and possibly earn some Tuska shards, which will be worth points to turn in for rewards later. If you do want to balance on the spines, be sure to pay attention to which one is electrified. It'll change every roughly 30 seconds or so, but will give you approximately 12 times the XP. Alternatively, you could just chop the quills, which is also worth woodcutting XP and potentially some more Tuska shards. On the opposite side of Tuska are some lightning beetles, which look a lot like blue Calphite workers. You can kill these for Slayer XP and, again, a chance at Tuska shards. Again, though, primarily you're going to be concerned with the main event, which occurs every hour and takes approximately 20 minutes. When the event does start, you can jump over to this island here, and you'll be teleported up to an island with a few other players. The order of the islands that you can visit is supposedly random, but I personally have managed to hit the same order every time, but I'm not sure if that's just a fluke. The first island that we'll cover is the Runestone Island. Here, you can channel the glowing runestones in order to gain divination XP, and in the process, you'll be charging up the god staff, which you might notice floating in the air above the island. The glowing runestone does not last forever, however. After a little while, it will eventually fade, and a new one will start to glow instead. You can climb around the crystals, or chip off the gate stones, or whichever it's going to be, in order to travel clockwise around the 4 islands to get to the next node. On an occasion, an asteroid will fall in the map, and you'll be able to mine this for some mining XP and also continue to charge the staff. Every 30 seconds, a random player will be selected to hold a gate stone, which anyone on his team can teleport to. For this island, my tip is to pay attention to who's holding the gate stone, because it can actually save you quite a bit of travel time as you have to cycle clockwise around to get to the next node. If you can skip 2 stages, that's a good 20 seconds or so that you've saved yourself. After 5 minutes on this island, you will be forcibly transferred to the next island. In my case, I got the Death Island. On the Death Island, you'll notice that there are 2 tentacles coming out of the ground, and after a little while, a bunch of smaller tentacles will continue to pop up around them like daisies. You'll want to attack these, but the only way you can do so is to pick up the Holy Fire off of the ground. Once you pick it up, it'll last around 30 to 60 seconds, so you'll want to run over and click on one of the tentacles and continue to just hit it until it dies. When your Holy Fire runs out, grab some more, rinse, and repeat. An alternative activity is to climb down to a graveyard. Make sure you search the altar first in order to pick up a special cross, and then you can dig in one of the graves. Once you've done so, you'll be teleported into the underworld and you'll see a whole bunch of different tormented souls. There should also be one lost soul hidden amongst this group, which you can capture, or alternatively you could just attack the tormented souls. Once you've killed the tormented soul, you'll return to the regular world, and anyone on your team will be able to kill the tormented soul, at which point you yourself will turn into a tormented soul, and you will see a glowing beacon where you can enact the last rites and turn back into a human. This also will give divination XP and continue to charge the staff. If you're going to attack the tentacles primarily, my recommendation is to find a cluster of them, as your fire will actually do damage in a 3x3 radius. The primary target will be hit for 500 damage, all the ones around it will be hit for 250. So in order to maximize your damage, you're going to want to hit as many close together as possible. As before, once you've spent 5 minutes on this island, you will be forcibly moved to the next one, in my case, the Tree Island. On this island, there is a tree in the middle which you'll have to nurture. There will be a bunch of small tentacles popping up here and there, just like in the last island, except these ones can be attacked with regular weapons, and you don't need holy fire. You'll kill them, and you'll receive mysterious herbs. These can be ground into a powder just like you would normally clean an herb. Alternatively, some giant vines will eventually start growing across the island, which you can chop down to again gain these mysterious herbs. And for reasons I don't understand, there are also asteroids in this island, which you can mine, again to gain herbs instead of rocks. Don't ask me how that works. You'll want to grind up all of these herbs and turn them into a powder, which you can nurture the roots specifically. You'll want to continue to nurture the roots until they reach a plant. Once it does so, it'll turn into a smaller tree, and which you can collect in order to gain a vibrating seed. The seed is used on the main tree to release the Anima Mundi and charge the spear. As always, once you've spent 5 minutes on an island, you will be forcibly moved to the next island, in my case, the Lightning Island, the most chaotic of them all. The first thing I recommend you do is immediately go and construct a pylon on one of the destroyed hotspots. Eventually the pylon will charge and create a sentient lightning orb, which you can lure to the Anima Mundi core in the middle of the island. Occasionally you will see some little white circles appear on the ground, which you can click on in order to divert lightning directly into the core. Alternatively, some little lightning orbs will appear periodically, which you can attack, and once killed, you will gain its charge. Once you've done that, though, be sure you run to the middle and click on the unstable core, otherwise your charge will eventually dissipate and have done you no good at all. This island may seem chaotic, and it is, but as long as you remember to continue dropping off your charge, which you can see represented as a little blue and orange bar beneath your health bar, then you'll be doing just fine. For the final time, you will be forcibly removed from the island after 5 minutes. Now that 20 minutes have passed, you will be able to go directly to Tuska. You'll appear on one of her tusks, at which point you will run up her jaw, get to the teeth, make sure you climb these teeth, and then you will find a weak spot, on which you can just simply click on it, and your character will summon forth the god-specific spear, stab Tuska in her weak spot, and that's pretty much the end of the event for the rest of the hour. You'll be awarded points based on your participation in the event. In my case, I earned 822 points. The maximum you can earn in an entire day is 1,000. Additional points can be earned by turning in the Tuska fragments to wizard chambers, which I mentioned earlier. So if you're desperate for more than 1,000 points, the Tuska fragments make for a pretty good option. The most Tuska fragments you are allowed to collect in a day is dependent upon your total level. If you have a total level of 2,595, you can receive up to 100 fragments per day. Since each Tuska fragment is worth 5 points, that means you can earn up to 750 points from Tuska fragments if you want to grind every single one of those out, and you have a maximum total level. All in all, those who are willing to put in a lot of time into this event and have a very high total level can earn up to 1,750 points per day. Just like in previous world events, you can spend your hard-earned points on a War Priest set of armor, which is a hybrid armor dependent upon your defense level. In this case, you can earn the War Priest of Tuska, boots, cuirass, robe, helm, and cape, although you actually can buy the previous events as well, although these are a little bit more expensive. In order to earn the full War Priest of Tuska set, you'll need 12,000 points, which means those who are actually able to grind out 1,750 points per day should be able to have the full set after 1 week. Additionally, there are some cosmetic overrides. In order to get all of those, you'll want to spend another 4,500 points. And in addition, there are a bunch of abilities as well, including Tuska's Wrath, which looks pretty interesting. In order to get all of these, you'll need another 14,500 points. If you're also interested in the emotes and the home teleport override, you're going to need another 4,200 points there. Grand total, you'll want a total of 35,200 points in order to unlock everything, and that's not including any XP lamps that you might feel so inclined to use. Again, if you are able to get a total of 1,750 points every day, you should have everything unlocked within 21 days. For most of us, however, it will take substantially longer, and you may have to pick and choose which ones are actually important to you. As a little Easter egg that I don't think everyone is aware of, if you wear a Ring of Visibility and run up to the north side of Tuska's back, you'll actually see that Soren, the emissary of Zeros, is hiding up there. If you talk to him, he'll explain that he's simply keeping an eye on everything, and Zeros has no intention of getting involved in these affairs of lesser gods. That said, though, the very existence of Soren does sort of imply that maybe Zeros will get involved later in this event, but we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. This has been Pravus with the Tuska Comes world event in RuneScape 3, and I do hope you found this video useful in some way. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for my regular content if you're interested. As always, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.